There is a material tougher than steel being spun in your garden tonight. Step outside at dawn, and you might find it, a spiral of silver thread beaded with dew stretched between two branches. It looks so fragile that a single breath could tear it apart. Yet that delicate net can stop a flying insect dead again and again without breaking. For centuries, we have tried to build something as strong, as light, and as tough, and we have failed. The maker of this thread needs no furnace, no acid, and no factory. It works in silence, in the dark, from a body smaller than your fingernail. This is the story of spider silk, a material so remarkable that our finest laboratories still cannot match it. Look closely at a single strand of a spider's lifeline, the thick thread it dangles from. It is thinner than a human hair, almost invisible against the light. And yet, for its weight, that fragile-looking thread is roughly as strong as steel. But raw strength is not what truly makes it special. The real marvel is its toughness, how much energy it can soak up before it finally breaks. By that measure, spider silk outperforms steel and even beats Kevlar, the fiber used in bulletproof vests. It can stretch, absorb a sudden shock, and spring back without snapping. That is why a flimsy-looking web can catch an insect flying at full speed, the way a net swallows a speeding arrow. And here is the first surprise. A spider does not make just one kind of silk. A single spider can carry up to 7 different silk glands, each producing a thread with its own recipe. There is strong dragline silk used for the web's frame and as a safety line the spider hangs from. There is stretchy capture silk coated in tiny beads of glue to hold struggling prey. There is soft wrapping silk spun in sheets to bundle up a captured meal. There is tough egg-case silk woven into a protective cocoon for its young. And there is sticky attachment silk, little anchor discs that glue the web to a wall or a leaf. One small animal, in effect, runs an entire factory of custom-made fibres. So how does a spider spin a solid thread that rivals steel? Inside its body, the silk begins life not as a fiber, but as a liquid. It is stored as a kind of protein soup with the molecules folded up and floating freely. As that liquid is drawn through a narrow duct toward the spinnerets, everything changes. The acidity shifts, water is pulled out, and the drawing force stretches the molecules straight. In an instant, they lock together into long aligned chains, and the liquid hardens into a solid strand. All of this happens at ordinary temperature, using water, with no heat and no poison. Steel must be forged in blazing furnaces. Kevlar is spun from boiling acid. The spider does something gentler, and in many ways more advanced, in a fraction of a second. With these threads, the spider becomes an engineer. In a classic round web, the spokes are made of stiff dragline silk, the rigid skeleton. The spiral that winds across them is the soft, sticky capture silk, the actual trap. The whole shape is designed to spread out the force of an impact and quietly swallow its energy. Many spiders rebuild their web each day, and some eat the old silk to recycle the precious protein. The web is also a kind of phone line. The spider reads the faintest vibrations to know exactly what it has caught. Some species push the material to breathtaking extremes. Darwin's bark spider spins the toughest silk ever measured and casts webs that can stretch clear across a river. Golden orb weavers produce silk that shimmers a rich, natural gold in the sunlight. And silk lets a spider do something even stranger. It lets them fly. By releasing fine strands into the breeze, tiny spiders are lifted into the air, riding the wind and even faint electric charges in the sky. This is called ballooning, and it can carry them hundreds of kilometers. Some have been found drifting miles above the ground. For as long as we have watched spiders, we have wanted their thread for ourselves. In the past, people used spider silk for fishing lines and even to dress open wounds. Once, weavers spent years gathering silk from over 1 million wild spiders just to make a single shimmering golden cloth. But spiders cannot simply be farmed like silkworms. Crowd them together, and they eat one another. So instead, scientists have tried to copy the recipe itself. They have placed spider silk genes into bacteria, into yeast, and even into goats. These spider goats produce the silk protein in their milk, which can then be collected and purified. And here lies the frustrating truth. We can now make the protein, but we still struggle to spin it as beautifully as a spider does. The deepest secret is not the ingredient, it is that flawless, split-second act of spinning. Even so, laboratories are slowly closing the gap, testing spider silk threads for stitches, fabrics, and materials that harmlessly break down in nature. It points toward a future where our strongest materials are gently grown, rather than mined and burned into being. So the next time you walk face first into a web and brush it away in annoyance, pause for just a moment. You have destroyed a structure more refined and more sophisticated than anything human hands have yet learned to make. Follow Worth Knowing for more things worth knowing.